I understand with the times we live in right now with COVID, mental health, pain, trauma, just life in general. It's hard to wake up every day and to scroll on social media or go on the news websites and seeing people dying, seeing shootings, seeing pain. No one wants to see that. No one wants to live that. I understand that when we go onto these websites like YouTube or Spotify or Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we want to see the cute puppy dog videos, the family videos, the comedy stuff. Because we deserve to laugh during these times. We deserve to feel good about ourselves, to have a great time, and to not think. No one wants to go to work and have a stressful day and then come home and turn on the TV and see chaos. No one wants to live in a world where they feel like they can't escape the reality of things. And I hate it because when it comes to serious situations like mental health, prison reform, healthcare, police brutality, violence, suicide, self-doubt, insecurities, topics that need to be talked about, nobody wants to hear it. And it's completely understandable because no one should be forced to have these things shoved down their throat every day and have these deep philosophical thoughts about these topics. But it's important because we're limiting ourselves to the things that we think about. And we're programming ourselves to think, as long as I don't think about the little boy that got shot the other day, or as long as I don't think about the people that doesn't have water in Flint, Michigan, it's going to go away. And then it's like that selfish mindset comes over us, and it's like, well, as long as it's not affecting me personally, I don't need to think about it. I don't need to care about it. And then we all sit around wondering, why is nobody helping me or caring about me when whatever happens affects us? What bothers me is that a lot of people will look at the content I create or the content that anybody creates about these serious topics and just think it's somebody trying to be woke, trying to be this fake, caring person, where it's like, oh, you're going to talk about one topic for 15 seconds and then the moment the viral trending #1 page changes, you're going to change with it. And it's like, no, I don't talk about the things I talk about to make people sad. I talk about them because I want people to know that it's okay to wake up and talk about these things. I didn't create this community, this podcast, this support system for people to cry. I didn't create it for people to sit around and wallow and be scared. But I created it because I wanted people to understand that even through the worst of things, even through the most pain, you are allowed to get onto any platform or any place that you feel safe and to speak about it. And it's okay to disassociate. It's okay to not want to be a part of reality, but you have to realize reality is there. Yeah, we love looking at TikToks. Yeah, we love looking at the home videos, but when we turn them off and when we go to bed at night, things are still happening in this world and people are still going through things, and there's still going to be trials and tribulations, and you can suppress that as much as you want, as much as you like, because you have every right to. But if we keep looking at the things that are going on and say it's not our problem, nothing will ever get fixed. And I understand the things that I can say can be extremely depressing, and it's not something that you might want to show to your kid, or it's not something you might want to listen to constantly, but it is something that can save millions and millions of people's lives, because I got on here and I said how I felt, and I got on here and expressed what was going on the inside. and how that even just one voice can bring attention to a topic. So many of us in this world feel like we have no power, feel like we have no reason to speak up, no reason to say anything. We love to follow and hope that someone would step up and lead, and then people will come along and fix our problems for us. But if we keep feeling like somebody's just going to come along and save everyone, who's going to be the person that's going to step up? Who's going to be the person that makes that change? And that's why I'm not upset about the people that just kind of talk about topics for a couple seconds and then move on to the next. Because for those moments, for all those people that want to be one-hit wonders, they made a change in those 15 seconds. But we need more people to talk about the real things that are going on, regardless if it makes you feel good or not. We need to be able to show the next generations that we can tackle real life situations without throwing TikToks in our face to distract us. And that even though bad things might be happening around them and the environment might not feel the safest to speak up, but it's important that we create our history and we tell our legacy and we tell our story. When you go to school, we open up these textbooks and it speaks about the last thousands and thousands of years. And regardless if you want to see it or not, a lot of it was pain. A lot of it was fighting, and a lot of it was war. And a lot of people didn't know how to deal with that or how to get through that. And so they kept using violence to solve issues and to solve situations. And plenty of people died because somebody didn't step up, or somebody didn't want to listen to the other routes or the other solutions that could have been brought upon us. I look at us now as the future, and what comes the future will eventually become history. And I think it's important for people 100 years, thousands of years from now to look back at us and not just see pain and not just see chaos, but see progression and see the things that we could have done and the changes we made, and not look at our history as this revolving cycle of trauma and pain. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to live in this amazing fantasy world. I do all the time. But I know nothing will ever get done if we shut up and look at a screen that entertains us all day. I know the people that need to be saved and that need to be helped and that need to be talked about won't ever be talked about if more of us don't step up. And I know for damn sure we would never have the lives we want if we keep deflecting and hoping that somebody would just save us and step up, when we as ourselves can use ourselves as a voice. There's going to be times where people aren't going to listen and people don't want to listen. And you're going to get many no's and you're going to get many people that don't care. But just because they don't care and just because they don't see you or hear you does not mean it's not important. And I think the end goal is to look back at our lives and think that we did something important and we did something worthwhile. And even though it might be a Debbie Downer now, it could be somebody's future later on. And I think that if we get out of our heads and we realize the strength and power that we have amongst each other, within ourselves, within our communities, in society, in each country, each continent, we'll understand how much we can actually get done. The moment you realize how many people want to keep you silent and want to keep you from not saying anything and not talking, you'll realize this is the one time, the most important time to say something. There's so many platforms, there's so many spaces where you could say whatever you want, and you should feel safe, and you are allowed to say that. You just have to have the courage to create. You have to have the courage to speak up, the bravery to be yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to go out there and say what's on their mind, or speak about what happened to them, or talk about the experiences they went through. No one's going to do it but you. These topics that I speak about are heavy. They're tiresome. They're exhausting. They're tear-jerking, provocative. But they're important. And they might not be important to you, but they're important to me. And I want you to know your voice doesn't have to be loud for you to be proud of yourself, or to want to say something, or to want to be something or be somebody else. You don't have to yell. You don't have to scream. You don't have to walk through the streets with a microphone to make a difference. You just got to start one day at a time. Paint something, make music, do a mural, but don't just sit around disassociating yourself from society and hoping that things are going to get better, or people are going to talk about the topics that you want them to talk about. Do it for yourself, do it for your community, and do it for your future. But it's important that you know it takes us as humans and as society to make the changes we need, so we don't end up like those thousands and thousands of years in the textbooks we grew up listening to and watching and reading, so that the generations after us and after us can see our progression and see our growth, and see that we can actually coexist with each other and live with each other and love each other, and not have it be this big war or fight or battle. Don't speak on something because you want 1,000 likes or 200 million views. Speak on something because that is what you in your heart desires and wants to speak on.